How do you define profit and loss? InvestorWords.com defines profit as positive gains derived from a business or investment after the subtraction for all expenses, the opposite of loss. Positive gains. Is cancer a positive gain? How about disease, polluted waterways, or child labour, hazardous workplaces, displacement? We don't consider these things positive gains. Or is it fair wages, community development, community involvement, clean water, safe workplaces? These are part of the things that make up our definition of profit.
Today we want to talk to you about how we measure profit and what we define as loss. We're going to share with you our experiences of working in the fashion industry and show you a hidden side to fashion that you've never seen before. And it's TED, so we're going to ask some big questions about profit and loss. Have we gone crazy? How is it considered sane that the constant exploitation of each other could be considered a positive gain in any way? We think there's a problem with the common business model. Profit and loss are measured in the short term and only in numbers. And today we want to talk about the other types of profit and loss. The profit and loss that may not show up on the balance sheet and that at first can be really difficult to measure.
We will show you that we have created a business model that has far-reaching and positive effects on all those involved. We will show you that success comes when our core values are supported. How many times have you heard the words, "It's just business," to justify unethical, unsustainable and destructive behaviour? It was one day when I heard these words, "just business," and thought, yes, but why? Why is this separate to our everyday lives? Why is it that we apply different rules to business? How can we treat our everyday working lives like they are separate from ourselves, our communities, or even more importantly, our global communities? We can make choices that make a difference through business every day. We soon realised that it wasn't just money that was the issue, but it was more the choices that we made and how we use it.
Having previously worked in the fashion industry as a buyer, I would notice when some of the well-known high street labels were buying the same garments from the same wholesale warehouse, but their prices would skyrocket for sale in the store. So a garment likely to have cost $3.50 would be sold for $29 through one label and $85 through another. Business owners, staff, buyers, no one ever asked where these garments came from, who produced them, or how they were produced. As the status of the CEOs of some of these labels grew and they were winning business awards and accolades, I was thinking, what is being rewarded? Anyone can buy something cheap and resell it at an inflated price. Which part of this is considered business success? I left the fashion industry feeling ashamed that our business culture would reward this uninventive and exploitative behaviour.
By that time, I'd been running my own business in design for about 5 years. I had a market stall amongst other micro businesses, many importing and applying inflation. I began to feel very frustrated as I felt I needed to reduce my prices. I felt like my own one-woman sweatshop. Another market stall owner noticed this and suggested that I import, divulging his product costs. I was shocked at his costs and soon realised that his supply chain must be earning next to nothing. We needed to raise the bar on overseas conditions, not only for the producers overseas, but also for the producers back home. This began my journey into fair trade and sustainable production.
Mass pollution and chemical use is one of the biggest causes of loss in the fashion industry. Polluted waterways cause a multitude of loss. The chemicals used cause cancers, deformity, and disease for producers and consumers alike. It was cancer that led one of the families we work with to return to the use of natural dyes. When we first started working together, one family in the community described to us the conditions of a conventional dye factory in Thailand. Their father's hands were dyed permanently blue, and he was of ill health. Their uncle had died of liver cancer. On autopsy, it was revealed that his organs had become coloured from absorbing the toxic dyes. Many of the workers in these factories are young, and they're becoming ill or dying at a young age. This family showed us their small chart of a small amount of natural dye colours, really excited about returning to the use of natural dyes, and they now produce over 35 different colour combinations, working with other families in that area. It wasn't easy at first to use natural dyes for the modern fashion industry, especially for wholesale clients. They're used to Pantone-coded colours. They match exactly, they never vary. And we did have stock return due to perceived imperfections in the first years. But rather than manipulate the dye with chemicals, in our view, leading to loss, we chose to openly communicate with our clientele about the choices we'd made regarding using natural dyes, and we helped them to see the profit. We now have a clientele who appreciate the beauty in a natural and handcrafted product.
Greenpeace is currently conducting research into the fashion industry. They've found high levels of toxic residue in garments from all over the world. These are the garments that you, as a consumer, are wearing every day. It's in constant contact with your skin. Greenpeace has also found high levels of toxins in the waterways close to the factories creating garments. This not only affects the flora and fauna, but also the population's ability to live in these areas. This causes issues like displacement and also an increase in need for aid. We consider this a loss.
There's also the term sweatshop. According to Oxfam Australia, if you're wearing anything from most well-known American brands, and even some of our well-loved Australian brands, it is highly likely the garment you're wearing has been produced under the conditions that we define as a sweatshop. Our experience of this came on a research trip to Thailand, where we hired a member of the Thai Manufacturing Workers Union to come with us and act as a translator in some business meetings. She had many years' experience working in the Thai manufacturing industry, as well as a cultural understanding and knowledge of the Chinese manufacturing sector. She shared with us that 97% of garment manufacturing for the fashion industry in Thailand is done under conditions that we would term a sweatshop. We've seen firsthand the effect this can have on people's lives. I've seen sweatshops, factories on the border between Thailand and Burma where hundreds of people live in camp-style accommodation, and they spend 10 or more hours a day at rows of sewing machines. The going rate of pay is the equivalent to $1 Australian a day. This allows them to afford one meal a day. The minimum wage in Thailand is 10 times this amount. Parents leave early in the morning, travelling long distances, returning home late at night, and children are left unaccompanied during this time. Obviously, most of these kids don't go to school.
We also consider this a deep loss.
We do consider this a loss.
And then...
Thank you.
Sorry.
Go for it.
How many people heard about the fire in Bangladesh? November 2012. 112 people died. Sorry, I find this one a little bit hard to talk about. I always get stuck on the words because it's a little bit horrible. But, yeah. They were creating garments for a multinational company. The safety standards in the building were not met. The community was in uproar, but nothing changed. And then there was another fire only 3 months later in another factory close by. Their fire exits were all locked. People had to jump out the windows to get away. 7 people died. Amongst the injured were children as young as 10. Amongst the victims were young women aged 15 to 17. They were making garments again for another multinational. This company stated that they did not know that the garments had been outsourced to this factory. And if they didn't know, if this is really true, what I want to know is why not? We consider this a deep loss. So now let's lighten the mood a little and talk a bit about profit. We've gained a deeper understanding of the needs of the people that we work with from regularly visiting our communities. Many business owners would consider this a waste of time, but we found that with time and with patience, it's helped us identify ongoing quality control issues, as well as needs for training. Our workers are happy, they're well looked after, they want to provide us with a good quality product. We found this to be a great profit.
There's also the financial profit, which of course is the component that makes any business sustainable. Our business structure has allowed us to keep the business independent. We've experienced a 30% increase in takings each year, with that figure rising to 70% last year. We started with one small market stall and a lot of enthusiasm. We now have our own retail store and we're stocked in boutiques all around Australia. These figures don't define our business, but they are obviously essential to its longevity.
Mm-hmm. We get to support the traditional artisans and their customs. People who would otherwise have to find work elsewhere get to work at home, safe, free from the risks of displacement. Alice and I have both witnessed the warmth and support amongst communities when they're working together. Techniques get passed down from elders that would otherwise be lost. There is constant chatter as communal issues get solved. Babies get passed around and we all know each other by name.
The income allows them to start things like community banks and healthcare programs. Revenue from the community banks goes to those in the community who are most in need. The bonds created by them working together mean that they easily choose to support each other. Those, not that bit. It's great.
The cotton is also grown chemical-free. This means that the soil is not tainted. The waterways are clean and healthy. We are trusted and we are taught many permaculture and natural dyeing techniques. That's probably my favourite bit. The people that we work with use non-genetically modified seeds. This means that the organic cotton is stronger and naturally softer. It will last you longer, and which means it's not only a win for the environment, but also for the consumer. We certainly call all of this profit.
It's important that when you're buying something, and as manufacturers and designers, we ask where something has been produced. Does the person selling it have any information about where it was made, the conditions it was made under? Are they conditions that you would be happy with? As business owners, consumers and employees, we can do it together. Business owners, be open and transparent about how you define profit and loss. Consumers, use your dollars to vote for a different kind of profit. Employees, be proactive about positive changes you can implement in your workplace.
We don't see our business as a finite answer, but more as a bridge. We hope to inspire you to make choices that support profits of a different nature to the norm and support the evolution of ethical business into our society. We can change the world together. We can change the way that we view success. Let's help each other create profits, one thread at a time. Thank you.